Off Tunisia's coast, the Gaza-bound Global Sumud Flotilla, carrying Greta Thunberg and dozens of activists, reported a fire aboard its main vessel. The flotilla claims a drone strike. Tunisian authorities point to a technical malfunction. UN Special Rapporteur Francesca Albanese says, if verified, it could violate Tunisian sovereignty. Carrying hundreds of tons of aid, the mission highlights the high-stakes struggle to reach Gaza amid a long-standing blockade. In Tunisia, one of the main vessels of the Global Sumud Flotilla, an international initiative delivering humanitarian aid to Gaza, was reportedly struck by a drone at the Sidi Bou Said port. The Portuguese-flagged vessel, known as the Family Boat, sustained fire damage on its main deck and storage areas. All 6 passengers and crew were unharmed. The flotilla, supported by delegations from 44 countries, including Swedish activist Greta Thunberg and Portuguese politician Mariana Mortágua, aims to challenge Israel's long-standing naval blockade on Gaza. In a statement, the Global Sumud Flotilla emphasized that the attack would not deter their mission.
Acts of aggression aimed at intimidating and derailing our mission will not deter us. Our peaceful mission to break the siege on Gaza and stand in solidarity with its people continues with determination and resolve.
Video footage posted by the flotilla showed a luminous object striking the vessel, followed by smoke rising from the impact. Dozens gathered at the port, waving Palestinian flags and chanting Free Palestine, according to Reuters. Tunisia's Interior Ministry said reports of a drone strike were unfounded, attributing the fire to a technical malfunction. UN Special Rapporteur on the occupied Palestinian territories, Francesca Albanese, who was present at the port, noted that while the source is unconfirmed, if verified, it would constitute an assault against Tunisian sovereignty. She also highlighted the flotilla's history of threats and attacks, stressing the need for urgent protection for incoming vessels.
We do not know who carried out the attack, but we would not be surprised if it was Israel. If confirmed, it is an attack against Tunisian sovereignty.
Tunisian authorities later said no drones were detected, and preliminary inspections indicated the fire originated on board, possibly from life jackets. The flotilla, which departed from Barcelona last week, has indicated that investigations are ongoing, and results will be released once available. Off Menorca, the flotilla faced a tense encounter with a private vessel. Jordi Ventura, a Spanish national and vocal supporter of Israel, sailed alongside while playing Israeli and Jewish music. He told N12 his actions were meant to critique what he called the flotilla's provocation.
I've been a skipper for many years, and I have quite a few Israeli friends. That's why I felt the need to criticize the provocation they made, so I sailed next to them and played music by my friends. It's important for me to emphasize that I love Israel, but I don't like the way things are presented in the local media. Distorted, one-sided, and not reflecting the real complexity. And I hope that all the kidnapped people will be returned soon.
The flotilla, comprising nearly 1,000 participants across 50 boats, carries around 300 tons of humanitarian aid, including food, water, and medical supplies. Among its passengers are Greta Thunberg, former Barcelona mayor Ada Colau, and Irish actor Liam Cunningham. Amjad Iraqi, an observer on Israeli-Palestinian relations at the International Crisis Group, explained to DW that the flotilla's impact is measured not solely by its ability to reach Gaza, but by the international awareness it generates.
The activists are trying to send the important message that there is an urgent humanitarian emergency and that the situation requires opposition to Israel's political decision to allow this siege and this famine to happen. This is independent of whether or not this flotilla succeeds to reach Gaza.
Historically, attempts to deliver aid by sea have faced consistent Israeli interception, including the 2010 Mavi Marmara raid and later Freedom Flotilla missions. Israel maintains its naval blockade, citing security concerns, while humanitarian organizations argue it constitutes collective punishment under international law. Greta Thunberg's latest attempt to reach Gaza through a humanitarian flotilla faced unprecedented challenges. On June 10th, the Swedish activist was deported from Israel following the interception of a Gaza-bound aid vessel on which she was aboard. Israeli authorities said Thunberg and 11 other passengers were detained after the yacht, the Madeleine, was intercepted roughly 185 kilometers off the Gaza coast while attempting to deliver humanitarian supplies in defiance of Israel's maritime blockade. Thunberg departed Tel Aviv for France, describing the interception as an illegal act in international waters. Speaking at Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris, she emphasized the ongoing humanitarian crisis in Gaza, citing systematic shortages of food, medicine, and water caused by the blockade. Thunberg criticized the seizure of the aid shipment while highlighting the urgent needs of civilians in the territory. Israel maintains that the blockade is consistent with international law, aimed at preventing the smuggling of weapons to Hamas, and described the flotilla as a symbolic mission rather than a genuine humanitarian effort. The Madeleine incident follows decades of tension over Gaza's blockade, enforced by Israel and Egypt since 2007. Humanitarian agencies continue to warn of widespread hunger and shortages in Gaza, exacerbated by ongoing military operations and restrictions on supplies, highlighting the persistent challenges faced by civilians in the territory. Now it is to be seen whether the Greta Thunberg-led flotilla will be able to reach Gaza or face deportation by Israel, as happened earlier in June.